This episode of Bouts Talking Bouts is brought to you by Bare Knuckle Betting Shark. Winning parlays, if you're looking for them in BKFC, you got to be checking out BK Bet Shark. Here's the thing, $50 buys, you get a personalized bet slip. It's based on your own budget. You can be flexible. It is what works for you. And this guy's got the receipts. You can check out all the winning tickets. You can peep them, and you can do so at Bare Knuckle Betting Shark. Check him out on Instagram and get with it. Got them personalized betting slips going on, $50 buys. All right, in this episode of Bare Knuckle Radio, very excited to be talking to an individual who competes at BKFC 55, which all goes down on November the 18th. We've got Mason Shaw knuckling up and towing the line against Matthew Hodgson, and great having Matthew on Bare Knuckle Radio for the first time. How's everything going, man? You having a solid day?
Good, man, yeah. Really well. Everything's going to plan, coming together. So I'm just jumping up a bit now, mate. I can't wait for Saturday.
Yeah, and is that just, with this being like the BKFC debut, is it returning to Bare Knuckle after almost 2 years away, or maybe a little bit of both?
It's a little bit of both, I think. Obviously, I'm dying to get back in there and then show my skill set again. Get back to winning ways, and obviously the fact that the card is so good for this Leeds event is, and it's great to be a part of that. So, obviously to be on that card as well is something, and close to home as well. So I can't grumble. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it must be exciting to be part of BKFC's growth in the UK after like all the great stuff you were able to do with BKB previously. It must be a cool thing to be a part of.
Yeah, absolutely. I've gone from strength to strength, and obviously I've changed companies over the years, and then to finally be a part of BKFC, and it's growing all the time, and it's only getting better and better. So to be a part of that and to see where I can actually go and push myself, let's see where we go from here. Obviously there's a statement to be made on Saturday, and after that then let's see what options come my way.
And just a curious sort of thing to, be able to be witness to, I would say, because I mentioned the high level of BKB experience you had before, and this upcoming fight being your fifth bare knuckle boxing bout here. But I was also noticing you have over a dozen MMA fights over amateur and pro per Tapology there. So how exciting is it to, I guess, be able to utilize the understanding of like the clinch positions and stuff like that with BKFC's rule set here?
Yeah, well, this is it, you see, and it's something that favours me quite a lot. I like to be inside, I like to, dirty box, but I can also work well off my jab, and keep it at range, so I'm very versatile either way. Obviously, the MMA background with the clinch, the Muay Thai, the wrestling, everything comes into play with this. This is where it's right up my street, Obviously, the bare knuckle side, the amateur career I had 5-0, and then obviously I've had 9 wins and 3 losses in bare knuckle. Obviously 5 of those are amateur, but every fight I've learned from it, and obviously there's only the BKFC that you can clinch in. The others we've had to try not to hold as such. I do like to be inside and dirty box, but obviously without the clinching BKB. So let's see how it favours me this time.
Well, I mean, you worked well enough within that rule set that's more centric to like the at-range kind of work, like to a scale where you won BKB gold in your previous outing. So I would think at the very least, I mean, as much as you have to, I guess, subvert the clinching instincts in some of the training for that circuit, I would think that it would even give you that much more confidence in your ability to, fight at range. I mean, you probably were before, but just refining it even more.
Yeah, exactly that, and the confidence you get from that, like you say, it builds every time, and I can work at range if I have to. Nobody knows what's going to happen until we get in there, but I can work at range, I can work well off my jab, but obviously, like I say, if I can get in close, then I like to work, I like to rough him up and get dirty inside, and and that's exactly what I'm going to do. But like I say, we don't know what's going to happen until I get in there. But he brings a lot to the table, does Mason Shaw. He's very skillful. Obviously, I won the British title for BKB, and then vacated it and moved to BKFC, and he won it after me. So we're both British title holders. I think he's had 13 bare knuckle, I've had 12. We're both veterans in the game. I'm looking forward to it, and who knows what's going to happen. I believe in myself that, my hand will be raised, full stop. Obviously, things happen in there that we can't expect. One punch can change everything in there.
Yeah, and I mean, you definitely have the experience in this sport, as we were talking about, but I mean, fighting a guy who's been in the sport for over the last 5 some odd years. So yeah, very interesting. And you talk about his championship pedigree as well, and it looks like he at least has a modicum of MMA experience from what I'm seeing. Do you ultimately think your, biggest successes in the fight could potentially come from those clinch positions, or are you not necessarily even thinking of it like that, and it's more of just being fluid and adaptable, and whatever happens?
I like to go into every fight being adaptable, being able to just step back a little bit and read my opponent. But then on the other hand, it can also quite quickly all that go out the window, and you can just, stand and trade kind of thing. And, we don't really know what's going to happen. But I think, if we can clinch and we can work inside and rough him up, then that's going to go in my favour 100%, yeah. It works for me very well. But obviously, training-wise, you can't really train that kind of thing, Obviously, if you're sparring pro boxers, etc., they don't like to be held. They don't like to be, in that tie kind of clinch, because they don't work like that, they don't train like that. So actually, when you grab them and rough them up and clinch them like that, they're like, get off, leave me, they don't like it. So you can't really train for it. It's just more of an instinct thing when you're in there, and it's who it works for best and who it don't, and who likes roughing them up and being dirty inside, and that works for me well.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I understand what you're saying in that kind of regard. So I would think that maybe getting in work with guys say Anthony Holmes. I saw a post even a couple years ago, 2.5 years ago even, where it seemed like you guys were getting in good work, and it seems like AVT MMA Leeds is a pretty prominent spot you get in work at. It seems like there's a lot of BKFC guys there. So do you, yeah.
Well, I mean, me and Anthony Holmes are good friends. We do train together quite a lot. So we do work off each other. We do learn off each other quite a lot. So obviously, working with a BKFC fighter as well, we can work on those clinches and work on that kind of thing. We do train up at AVT. Anthony more than me. I moved to Golden Team over at Leeds, so that's where I'm based out of now. It is amateur pro boxing, Muay Thai gym. So that's where I'm based out of now. I left AVT due to I had a knee problem, so I couldn't really concentrate on my pro MMA career. I had to take a step back, which is where I got offered my first BKB fight. So I took it on board just as just to tick off my bucket list. And after that first fight, ended up getting me ear burst at the back. I could put my finger through the back of my ear, and I was covered in blood and everything, and I just loved it. That the adrenaline, the rush, the buzz, everything about it, and I've just hit it off from there, and I've never looked back. But yeah, AVT has quite a few BKFC fighters coming through now and training up there, and I will be up there at some point training with those as well. Ricardo Franco's over there. Anthony Holmes goes and trains quite a lot. I think Aaron Sunmain goes up. There's quite a few lads go, yeah. So it'd be good to get up there and train with them at some point.
Great shout out to Gold, though. I feel like that's such a prominent gym in that area, just such exemplary bare knuckle fighters. So cool you're, gleaning some knowledge from that space too.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's always good to go to certain gyms and get that knowledge and get that training behind you. There's AVT, like I say, Golden Team, my gym, you've got the likes of Smudger Smith. Scott McHugh comes up and trains there. You've got Jimmy Sweeney. He comes up and trains there with us now. There's quite a good BKB lads coming through to Golden Team as well. So those two are the most prominent gyms around this area. For the BKB lads. So there's a lot of lads coming through the ranks as well now. So it'd be interesting to get some work in with a lot of them.
Yeah, and it seems like you've been able to generate quite a few finishes across your, bare knuckle run so far. You were talking about being fluid and adaptable before, so maybe you're not even thinking of it like this, but do you, I guess, see that trend continuing of this one ending inside the distance, or do you not go into the fight with that mentality so as to, I guess, not overextend yourself, and if the knockout presents itself, it's there kind of thing?
Yeah, that's it. I don't like to be too overconfident. I'm very, very confident, don't get me wrong, and I'm confident in my skill set, my mentality, everything we've worked, certain things we've worked in the gym. I'm confident in all that, confident in my team, confident in my ability. I just don't like to walk in there being overconfident because, like I said, one shot can change everything, and this is it, we will be going for the finish. It's as simple as that, I don't like to leave it to the judges. And I do like to go into every fight going for that finish. If it goes 5 rounds, it goes 5 rounds. Like you say, if the knockout presents itself, then fine. I'll take that. But until then, it's just a matter of taking it as it comes. And we'll see where we're at. Like I say, he's a good lad, is Mason. I've got utmost respect for him. We spoke to each other over the years with BKB, etc. And he's fought some of my friends before, and we've never had a bad word to say about each other. And we should have fought 3 years ago, but COVID put a stop to it. So we never got a chance to fight. Back then, obviously I wasn't as good as I am now. So back then it may have been a different story if it had happened, and maybe I wouldn't have been ready as such. But this time I am more than ready. And he's just a stepping stone to get to that number one ranking, and we all know who's there. So it'd be interesting to see. Let's make a statement on Saturday and then move forward, and let's see who's after that. So, I'm not overlooking him, and Saturday is quite important to me. So I'm not thinking past that. So we'll concentrate on him first, and then obviously move from there.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, you just seem like a game-focused guy that's just ready for it. Like, it kind of reminds me of, like, when you'd had that post a few years ago talking about, like, the, week's notice fight against, Nick Sanderson for the light heavyweight title, and you ended up getting the win. So, yeah, I guess just speaks to the readiness and everything.
Yeah, that's it, I am ready. It's as simple as that, It's one of those fights that needs to happen. It's as simple as that, and obviously we take it and that's it. Move forward from there. But like I say, I'm looking forward to it. Everything has just worked well. The camp's gone great. The recovery side's gone great. I have actually started taper down now. I'm training Monday and Wednesday. Just a little taper off now. Weighing on Friday. So it'll be interesting to see what the weigh-in's like as well. We are both respectful to each other. I don't think there'll be any bad mouthing or animosity as such. But I'm sure whatever, it's going to go down. It's as simple as that on Saturday night. So I can't wait.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the enthusiasm coming across. I guess something you were mentioning before that I'd be curious to get insights on. So you were talking about that period where there was that opportunity that was presented to, partake in bare knuckle, and you were kind of describing it at the time as almost like, it'd be a good, be a good thing rather to cross off my bucket list. Like, was there like a distinct epiphany moment or even a gradual realization where you kind of came to the idea of like, hey, I could turn this into like a viable sort of combat sports career path as opposed to a bucket list kind of thing?
At that time, there was nothing about the future. Never entered my head. Obviously, I've grown up around fighting. I've grown up being, you know, a bit of a brawler and a scrapper over the years, and obviously then turned to actually turning it into a career, so I could channel that aggression and focus, and you know, keep myself out of trouble as such. You know, so with me not doing the MMA side, I couldn't wrestle as much. I couldn't do MMA sparring, Muay Thai. I was training 5 days a week at AVT. You know, Danny Mitchell was my coach at the time, and I had to take a step back due to a knee injury. And you know, he actually came to me, Danny, and he put on a show in Leeds and said, "Listen, you know, I have a bare knuckle opportunity for you. Do you want to take it?" And I was like, yeah, fine, yeah. I thought, yeah, go on, I will. You know, I can scrap, I can bang, you know, let's do it. So there were no real skill set behind it as such. It was more, you know, I'm going to get it and tick it off my list and enjoy it. And that's exactly what I did. And I loved it. I actually fought Ashley Gibson. Now, obviously, he's on the BKB scene. You know, he's a brawler, he's a banger, he's got a big over on the right, and as I know, as I found out a couple of times, you know, I fought him on BKB, and he actually sat me with his big over on the right, sat me a split knockout, flash knockout, and I got up again and then eventually finished him. But yeah, you better be really, really wary with it. But yeah, it was actually him that I fought in Leeds on my first bare knuckle, and we did 5 rounds, covered in blood. You know, cuts, hands were swollen, you know, everything that bare knuckle's about, and we left it all in there. You know, I had a pint afterwards, and I absolutely loved it. So then it was at that point at the end where I thought, yeah, you know, I like this, let's see where we can go with this. You know, and obviously now we are at, you know, we are at that top level now. You know, BKFC is the top level. So we are at that level. So yeah, I'm very proud and pleased to be part of it. You know, it's been a lot of hard work. But yeah, we're there now. So you know, we are taking his foot off the gas. We're going to continue climbing that ladder, and it's as simple as that.
Well, cool to hear you had that earlier bare knuckle experience in Leeds, and now getting to, you know, add another chapter in this unfurling story where it connects to Leeds as well in this next one. So that's kind of cool too.
Yeah, it is, you know, and it's always good to fight on your own turf as well. You know, the support's amazing. The thing with the Leeds card is there's 3-4 lads that are local to here. You know, you've got Nathan Owens, you've got Anthony Holmes, you've got Johnny Graham's on it. You know, there's some good local lads on it. So. But it's like a lot of Anthony Holmes' friends know me, a lot of my friends know Nathan Owens, a lot of our friends know Johnny Graham, you know, so all my supporters are their supporters and vice versa, you know, so there's going to be a lot of noise in there, and as far as I know, it's a sellout, so, you know, the atmosphere is going to be unreal, and yeah, that support behind me is going to push me for that win. It's as simple as that, you know, and yeah, I can't wait to get in there and hear that roar of the crowd, you know, and obviously work off that, and it is so. I mean, I went to the last one where it was Anthony Holmes and Danny Christie for the title, and the atmosphere was absolutely electric. You know, it makes hair stand up back of your neck. You know, you get ghost pimples, and it's absolutely brilliant. You know, and that's what adds to, you know, that is a whole atmosphere that adds to bare knuckles. You know. It's the number one growing combat sport in the world, you know, and people seem to think that it's just a violent sport for scrappers and, you know, people it's like a good fight, but it's not about that, you know. There's a lot of respect and a lot of honour in there, you know, and it's great to be a part of it, you know, and it is an eye-opener for people, you know, when they come and actually watch it, it's an eye-opener for them. And they don't realise that, you know, it's just not a matter of getting in there and tearing each other's head off as such. You know, it's quite a skill set, and, you know, you don't tend to throw as much, do you, as you do boxing wise. You know, protection on your hands. You know, you're quite skillful with it. You know, technical with it. At some points, you know, there is fights as well where you just go alpha level and windmill and go at it war. You know, but you know, sometimes that happens, doesn't it? But no, we will be cool, calm and collected for this one. That's a dead cert.
Yeah, I mean, I was very excited for this fight before talking to you, but a lot of great insights, definitely getting me even more excited. But that being said, I want to be mindful of the rest of your time and schedule, Matthew. I really do appreciate the time, but I'm curious if there's maybe a final parting thought you'd like to add as we're sort of wrapping things up here, though, man.
Yeah, just, you know, obviously, Saturday night we're going to go in there a different animal to my last one. You know, I've been put into some dark places this last camp, and to come out the other side and feel like I do is, you know, I'm very confident. I don't see, you know, Mason Shaw really troubling me that much, to be fair. You know, but you know, like I say, anything can happen. You know, thank you to everybody that's bought tickets on my behalf. Thank you to all the support, you know, across the world as well. You know, I know people tune in across the world, and, you know, thank you for all the support that everybody gives. I mean, if I could just give a shout out to my sponsors as well while I'm on, if you don't mind.
Absolutely not.
Right, so I have some good sponsors behind me that have been with me for a long time, and they are the reason I do what I do and can do what I do. So we have Northern Performance, we have MWA Fencing, we have CBD Guru, We Are PCS, APK9 Training, Bramley Scaffolding, TCG Automotives, Outlaw Gains, Carl Stannard, Brad Foster, Aesthetic Intuition, and Hair by Shell. They're all my sponsors that back me every single fight. My management team, HD Global, and my coach, Justin Newell, and obviously everybody at Golden Team. Quick shout out to them as well. I haven't been with Justin that long, to be fair. But we've bonded really, really well, and I'm looking forward to how far we can actually go. It pushes me to some dark places, like I say, but puts my mind at ease, you know, it keeps me calm, which I know that is a good thing, you know, and the bond that a student and the coach has kind of thing is a great thing. And it keeps me cool, keeps me calm, keeps my thoughts together. You know, he's there for me as a friend and not only a coach, you know, and I appreciate that. So that bond that we have is getting stronger and stronger every training session. And I'm really looking forward to obviously putting a performance on Saturday, not only for myself, but for him and the hard work he puts into me. And obviously then moving forward with Justin, you know, and seeing how far we can actually go with this. And I do believe, hand on heart, I will be at the top. You know, and let's just, you know, I'm not overlooking Mason on Saturday, but I will focus on that one first, and then we'll go from there and see what options are available after this one.
Yeah, and like you were saying before, super exciting time for this fight finally coming to fruition after having been discussed even a few years ago. So great that this is finally happening at BKFC 55, and definitely excited for this Mason Shaw fight on November 18th, Matthew. But until then, you enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks so much for the time.
Thank you very much. Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
This episode of Bouts Talking Bouts is brought to you by Bare Knuckle Betting Shark. Winning parlays, if you're looking for them in BKFC, you got to be checking out BK Bet Shark. Here's the thing. $50 buys, you get a personalized bet slip. It's based on your own budget. You can be flexible. It is what works for you. And this guy's got the receipts. You can check out all the winning tickets. You can peep them, and you can do so at Bare Knuckle Betting Shark. Check him out on Instagram and get with it. Got them personalized betting slips going on, $50 buys.